What is good, everyone? Welcome to today's aftermarket trade recap. Just quickly wanted to say before I get into it that I know it's been about 2 weeks, and the sole reason that I've not been uploading is one, because just a little bit of a schedule change in my morning. Went to a new gym, or I started going to a new gym, and that's kind of changed some things in my schedule, as well as I honestly had just forgot to record these. But I'll show you guys here. I have been journaling still. Here is kind of how my January was. Maybe I might make a review video going over my trades and everything like that for January. But yes, I have been journaling. It's just been on here instead of with, on YouTube. And then here's for this month too. I still got a journal for today for this one, but I've been journaling basically. It's just not been here on YouTube, but I will start to get back into it. Another thing too is just because when I journal these trades, it's usually towards the end of the night, and I would do these like in the afternoon, and it's just something I was more focused on this than the recordings that I totally forgot. But anyways, now that that's out the way, obviously every time I do these, go over kind of like the morning bias, the daily bias, everything like that before then I get into the actual trade that I had taken. So going into today, let me turn on the session indicators real quick. So going into today, I will say that we had, technically took out London low. Yeah, there was like a low, I guess, a little bit after London that we still could have came down. But I wasn't necessarily looking at this as high conviction. This was more just something I was marking out, as well as these equal lows that we had left. And then the big reason for why I wasn't like super short bias is just because of the fact that we were inside of this huge 4 hour, and then we had 10 a.m. news, so I had to wait till 10 a.m. And that's kind of how, or that is how it's been the past few days. Is we've had 10 a.m. news every day, and once 10 a.m. had opened up, we had in versus bearish ones. So that's kind of what had made me long bias at that point. Especially to the fact that we had Asia highs up above, and then we also had previous day highs, which we did take out today. So yeah, that was where I kind of got my long bias, or that is where I got my long bias from, of wanting to go long. And then in the morning, like I said, we have been having 10 a.m. news, and usually what will happen is like 9:30 open, we'll run up, and then 10 a.m. comes out, we'll have probably a little volatility from the news. After that, price action just is like low probability. It's like choppy, everything like that. And then in the PM sessions, it's kind of, it's a little better. But yeah, in the morning session, there was one setup that I potentially would have taken, and that is this right here, this 1 minute inversion. And, I could have had low risk on it, targeting data highs or also the Asia highs up above. But I hesitated on it, and the reason for that was just because, again, yeah, it didn't seem like a bad trade to take because of the risk reward factor and a small, confidence on draw, aligning with higher time frame bias. But it wasn't really like a good setup at all in the fact that we weren't holding anything. We weren't holding a 5 minute, a 3 minute, anything like that. We had no SMT. So doesn't really fit along with my like A plus setup. And again, there's really no confluences to go off of at all besides the inversion and kind of a draw on the data highs and Asia highs. But again, just because of how low probability price action is, no guarantee that we could have hit that in the morning. It could have, kind of chopped around here, stalled, and then went lower. And then the PM session, we could have taken it out. But we did end up taking it out in the morning. So it was a missed opportunity there, but again, I don't think it was A plus. And if I would have lost, I probably would have been mad at myself. So either way, it worked out, but I'm glad I didn't take it. Then after we took that, there was a rebalance trade that I could have taken right here. To where is it at? To I just lost it. Oh, this is the morning, so let me see. Oh, maybe there was nothing to rebalance, but I still could have taken this. Just off the fact it looked good. I don't know if we had an SMT here, and then we had just swept liquidity, so I could have taken this. But really, the main profit idea for this, as I remember I just drew it out like this. Yeah, to the -1 standard deviation. But it doesn't, it was just a forward test. I didn't take it. It was something that I had already missed the initial entry. Plus it was after 11 a.m. too, and I don't really like to trade after 11. But then anyways, turning the session indicator back on, just remember that we have lunch lows here, lunch highs there. But then coming into the morning, or sorry, coming into the PM session, during lunch session, I was looking around and I was kind of more short biased now at this point, just because we had, taken out the stuff in the morning, and now we had a lot of unfilled inefficiencies as well as equilibrium that I was looking to see get rebalanced. But something that I had journaled last week that resulted in a loss that did help me today is the fact that it was kind of similar to this. We had a huge run up in the morning, all these inefficiencies left down here, and then equilibrium that I was looking to target. But we kept holding the first 15-minute and wicking like this, exactly like this in it. And I still tried to go short, and I ended up in a loss. And then today, that's when I had changed my bias. Once I had seen this, I was like, okay, I could get a potential short, which there was a potential short opportunity right here, an inversion lower. I forward tested this too, just because of the fact that, yeah, I could have taken this, but I knew it would have been a small scalp and it wasn't the long time frame bias. But I was pretty confident in this. But I was like, I don't want to take this for such, it would have been like 1-to-1 RR, about like 10 or 12 points. I was like, I'd rather catch a bigger move than that, especially since I'm putting on a 1-to-1 risk. And, I was more confident in longs basically. And especially once I had seen that we were forming this low resistance liquidity and then kind of like almost accumulation, manipulation, distribution, especially when I saw us really heavily move down. We tap in this 5-minute, we reject. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted to see. And then I was just hoping we had left a fair value gap to inverse in this leg. Thankfully we did. We had left this 3-minute. And then now the whole goal was just to hope that we get an inversion relatively close. Don't take out this LRL or this internal high here. And that is exactly what we got, thankfully. Ended up entering off the 3-minute inversion. 1 mini on both accounts. And then, very small risk. I'm just a little bit under my daily loss, my personal daily loss limit. But yeah, and then again, I had break even at these highs because I knew, if we're going to continue to run, we got to run past this low resistance liquidity. I had a 15-minute buy side level target here, but then I had looked and moved it up once I realized that there was a high inside of a 5-minute fair value gap. I figured, we're at least going to sweep that. And yeah, this was way higher than 10 points for, 9-point stop, 20 points of double. What I would have got on the short little scalp if I had taken a short earlier. And yeah, I had top ticked it, which is kind of weird because yesterday I had bottom ticked it, and honestly, recently, especially a lot in January, there was a lot of top ticks and bottom ticks for my take profits. I will admit that's not, like a skill-based thing. That's kind of like a little bit of luck involved that's been happening, even in my back testing too. But I'm not complaining. I mean, I'll take it. If I can catch the full moves, sure, why not? But yeah, it was obviously a very good take profit as soon as we had taken this out, ended up reversing, coming lower, and then eventually, going back up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Pretty solid week. Again, like this was last week of January. I did have a good month, but I had a little bit of a losing streak here. And then yesterday, I pretty much wiped out the losses on one of the accounts. I didn't take the trade on the second account. But if I would have taken the trade on the second account, it would have wiped out all the losses completely. But anyways, now that I took the trade on both accounts today, and along with the one trade from yesterday, obviously wiped out all of last week's losses just in 2 days. So that's awesome to see. Glad I broke the losing streak yesterday, but then also glad I was able to wipe the losses out completely in just 2 days. Technically, it should have been one, but I did not enter on the second account. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hopefully I can keep the week solid, keep the winning streak going, and yeah, I mean, just going to keep, following my rules, following my risk management, all the boring good stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. And we still got a couple more days left this week. So hopefully I'll see you guys sometime this week. Peace out.